Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the finals. We got a couple very important donations to read out here real quick. We'll do this before we get into it. First one, $10 donation came in again from Shrimpy. This is 2 more beers. Smiley face. I was being cheap before. Smiley face. All right. Thank you very much for that, man. But this one's pretty important. It comes from the Proxy GG TV team. $10 says, hey, it's the team from Proxy.gg. We want more feedback from your viewers. How can we improve Proxy? They can use the contact form after the login. And also, by the way, raise your kappas. God damn it, sponsors. What are you doing here? Kappas.
Email the sponsors about your language.
Yeah, can we email the sponsors about the kappa usage? I mean, seriously, it's far too low. But yeah, Proxy GG guys, they're a betting website. They've taken a chance with us. I think it's one of their first time sponsoring something. I do hope that they've gotten their money's worth over the last 2 months, a month and a half, whatever. As again, it's a fun website. You can exchange points for prizes. It's very similar to the Part2 system. Highly recommend checking them out. Proxy.gg. But deep breaths. It could be the last game. It's game number 6 in this best of 7 finals. It's spawning here in the top left corner of merry-go-round. It's the blue Terran player GumiHo.
The bottom position as the red Protoss. Let's see what Flash Wolves PartinG.
So a couple of cool things to remind you guys about as we get into this. One, I mentioned before briefly, we got a headset to give away after the series concludes, whatever it may be. Again, ask the mods in chat if you want a preview of how that's going to work. But basically, while you've been watching the channel, you've been earning points, and you can exchange those points for raffle tickets, and anyone can play, not just subscribers. But speaking of subscribers and segueing out of this real quick before we get into the game, we've been asked several times at this point, yes, replays will be available, but to our subs only as always. So I do apologize for those of you who are just the awesome fans for tuning in, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you've been enjoying the games, but replays do only go to our subscribers. We don't make public replay packs. But man, Blink has been PartinG's best friend. It's another 3-player map. I don't think this map has the same opportunities for Blink that Catalina does, but I mean, for PartinG's sake, like, consider the games he's lost are like the games he didn't go Blink on. It's gotta be like in his mind, like, you're one way away, just do Blink one more time.
Has it also been that GumiHo has only won games where he's one base, medevac dropped? I think so.
Yeah, actually.
The first game, and then the game that ended up with the tank composition.
Yeah.
So, which one is it? Which one really determines? I don't know. But GumiHo is, notably going for... Wait a minute, what's the tech lab for?
Is he gonna go Banshees? That'd be so weird. No way.
Well, it's right next to the starport.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, but like...
Maybe he's gonna go into tanks afterwards.
Safety tank after a Widowmine?
Oh, what is that?
Oh, I think it's just Banshees. But the problem is, because PartinG's opening here with Starport, or Stargate rather, like, he'll probably open Oracle, but the second he realizes it's the Banshee, you just build one Phoenix. I mean, don't forget, guys, Banshees are light units. Phoenixes shred them to bits. And if he opens with the Oracle, he'll have detection for it.
Oh, this might be a build to cross that is not going to favor GumiHo.
No, that's really unfortunate, but I think it's one that's meant to get here before, I guess before Stalkers get out of control. I mean, Banshees are quite good, and you gotta remember, if you do go for like really, really fast Blink Stalkers, usually you don't have detection. It's the Mothership Core, not an Observer.
Is he gonna go for Hellions after this as well? There's a reactor on the factory.
I feel like we've made jokes about PartinG playing about as Protoss as possible, and I feel like GumiHo is trying to embrace his inner Terran.
There it is. There's the inner Terran that everyone hates.
The Hellions and the Banshee cloak. No, this is like a standard TVZ opener.
It's a Raven.
Oh,
it's gotta be a push.
Yes, it is. And the thing about the Raven that I really like is this is so good. It counters the photon overcharge, but it provides detection. So if it is DTs, there's no problems. But it is in fact an Oracle coming towards the main, and right now he is out of position to deal with this.
Yeah, really out of position. Good God. Well, the Banshee gets, it doesn't have Cloak yet, and there's Phoenix too.
Actually, yeah, my Cloak in time.
Cloak. Oh. Wow.
Okay, so this will work quite well. This is gonna be a long time with this no detection. PartinG knows this too, so he's pulling the probes back here. The Oracle never actually went in, by the way.
Yeah, that should have been like, probes for SCVs, and then the Oracle does come back afterwards, but I guess you would have used up all your energy, and then you wouldn't be able to, I don't know, but he brings it back, and it will kill the Banshee, but the Banshee's already done
Man, it is done
a lot
its
of
work.
damage.
10 kills is quite nice.
I think it's worth itself, the Banshee plus Cloak. I don't know about how this build is really going to work out, though.
Yeah, I feel like for GumiHo, I love GumiHo and all, but this is an awkward as hell opener. Like, tank, Raven, Banshee, Viking into command center, right? Like, okay.
Like a 1-1-1.
Let me tell you guys what's standard. Yeah, no, it's like 1-1-1-1-1-1, like just across the board, right? Someone held down the key, but so what do I will get a nice shot on the Phoenixes?
Very nice.
That shield capacity quite high, so just barely doesn't one-shot it, but
I guess we shouldn't be too surprised to see. I mean, like, Pro League, I feel, really helped introduce weird builds that were used in, like, you know, specific scenarios. You know, you saw, like, people abusing, was it Yansu? Like, the high ground that no one knew about that was shown in Pro League. And then, you know, we have, like, a bunch of, like, mech builds in Pro League. They just show, like, really interesting games, right? So it's not too surprising to see him do some type of push with tanks, Raven, Marines. It's just usually the order and where they get to that point can vary, obviously. GumiHo got a Raven before he got anything else.
oh, didn't kill the SUV. She's just gonna be like, oh wait, what happened? Like, I just did I fall asleep? Just goes right back to work on building the barracks. No big deal.
So peaky.
The Raven, though, is in quite a bit of danger. It is a light unit. It will also follow the Phoenixes quite quickly. It's a very expensive unit they doesn't want to give away because it does have a fairly critical role in the matchup. That point defense drone should never be underestimated versus Protoss. Honestly, Seeker missiles don't really have a place, and neither do auto turrets other than light harass, but that point defense drone, it what allows the tanks to siege, and what keeps Blink Stalkers back. I mean, it stops an overcharge.
The revelation of Viking.
That was such a...
I know where you are.
You ran up to like somebody, slap him in the face to run away. Like, that's what just happened.
It's not gonna be that. I mean, I guess the Viking is gonna go with the army eventually, but GumiHo is gonna attack probably right before Stim finishes. You know, pair it up really nicely. You know, I gotta imagine he's gonna attack. There's no way he's gonna throw it on the third base and just smack her with this. Although that's what he did on Nimbus, or yeah, Nimbus. So maybe.
It's one of those things where you're like partying. Like, are you for real right now? Like, you're supposed to just be doing one base blinks. What are you doing?
Yeah,
you're throwing the game by taking us third base. You know.
Parting, stop. Yeah. But that GumiHo is attacking, of course, from this you know, side. So, like, especially with tanks, even with BIOS, but especially with tanks, you don't want to run past the natural to get to their third, right? Like, I feel like if he did come from the top side, he would have a very nice, offensive tank position on the high ground. But since he came in this way, it's just gonna be straight up army versus army.
The nice thing about the Phoenix is they are so fast that if controlled properly, they can duck around this army and at least scout. They might not be able to actually pick anything up or do anything useful, but scouting is pretty key to keeping an eye on what GumiHo has and where it's going to be, because you're not really usually looking for this. Oh, Sims Resort. You're not really looking for this this composition of units to split. It's a death ball scenario, and you gotta know where it is at all times.
So what is GumiHo gonna wait for now? Combat shields and a bigger army and then go, or is he's just gonna defend against this push from PartinG? But PartinG doesn't have to push. He has the third.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is too, like, those Phoenixes, the Stalkers, they're never gonna kill the Vikings unless the point defense turns around. There's just not a lot of real damage here. So getting a little bit over eager with the Marines. That was a little bit scary.
Yeah, I was a little bit scared for the Colossus too. Yeah, Blink's not done, so the Stalker's gonna be able to protect it. Good force builds, you know, gonna buy him time, gonna stop GumiHo from chasing, but GumiHo is going to attack now that he realizes it's not gonna be an all-in, because I don't think he knows about the third, he does not. So that might have looked like a potential all-in. That's you don't know about the third, that's a big deal. You should be trying to attack the third right now. You should be trying to at least, you know, send a couple of Marines over there and kill the probes. But instead it'll just be, you know, staying here, attacking the army on even footing.
Well, the Vikes gives some nice shots off. Point defense turn does go down. Keep in mind, this will last for quite a bit of time. That's planned to change the Legacy of the Void, of course, but this will be around for a bit of time. So Siege Tanks take a really nice position. He'll unload some units here on the high ground. Colossus can't really dive in here, and for PartinG's sake, this is a bit of an awkward situation. Like, directly blinking into this, another point defense turn will come down. He'll not be able to deal with the Marauders and the tank damage. Meanwhile, this drop in the main is going to pick out the Robo. No more Colossus.
Oh, nice, and the Mothership Core as well.
Ooh. No time warps, no foot on overcharges. He's going to focus down on the Medivacs. There's no escape. Not a bad idea, of course, but he's got to take fights away from that tank count. The second he moves like higher than here, he gets shelled at.
Yeah. Vikings have to be carefully controlled as well. A lot of Blink Stalkers.
GumiHo's got a high army supply, and he's on +1. There's no reason he shouldn't take a good engagement here, but at the same time, this is a situation where you can snowball quickly. Tanks, Marines, Marauders, like, this is not a typical throwaway army. This is a pretty expensive set that GumiHo has.
Yeah, and remember that is off of 2 bases. GumiHo still does not know that there's a 3rd base available for PartinG, and PartinG, he could you know, get denied mining in his main, and he still would be a-okay. And GumiHo, all he needs to do really is send off like just a couple of units. I guess he has to kill the Clifton cannons, but still, and you start gutting that 3rd probe line as well.
That point defense drone just completely shut down like 2 full stalker volleys, which means these Colossus are taking way more shots than the Vikings you would ever normally see.
Oh, last one goes down. It's still with Blink Stalkers, PartinG, Magic Blink Stalkers. Does he have enough? Can he get enough? That's really, he has to do Magic when he has, you know, 15 plus Stalkers, not 4. And he has so much money.
I know, his 3rd base is still mining. But what can you really spend on? Like, everything's being thrown out through the warp gates. He's waiting on cooldowns here. Dark Shrine finishes up in a moment. We see him throwing out more gateways because I think he's realized, yes, I have a ton of cash. But what can he do with it? I mean, these tanks are so well positioned. There's no Immortals to bust this.
I think this is actually a situation where we can say that PartinG is going to lose. It is about the lack of a Robo. He would have had maybe 2 more Colossus by the time those 2 Colossus died. That was how long the Robo was down.
Oh, can the DTs change it? Nope, scan comes down. Scan to wear off. He wants to get back in there with those more DTs, but he's losing so much. But GumiHo, you know, he's tunnel vision here. He doesn't know about this 3rd.
Would Archons be better? I don't know.
It's a hard call to make at this point. I mean, do you even have the time to merge in an Archon, right? Like,
yeah, but all those Marauders are so low. I imagine like 2 Archons flash, and they aren't so bad at soaking up the tank fire.
But even this base goes down, it's still, I feel, not the end of the world for PartinG. I mean, he might tap out because of how out of control this is getting, but you know, that 3rd base mining, until that's under attack. Yeah, GG.
Ace match.
All right, yeah, this is gonna go to Game 7. I don't even